everyone, it's Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Minnie.
And today is September 12th. We have our book club article, and the book today is called All the Light We Cannot See.
那我们今天9月12号，我们在好书俱乐部，我们今天要介绍的书叫做《呼唤奇迹的光》。
Now, we love to talk about sad books here at Enjoy School, and today is no different. We are talking about a book about World War II, and this is a novel about how war brings out the best and worst of people.
那我们今天要讲这本书，它的背景是在 World War II， 有一个难念的字叫二战。世界大战二战，那它是一部描述战争如何凸显人类最光辉跟最阴暗一面的小说。
So actually, today, the day we're recording is a few months ago, and today is actually the 78th anniversary of D-Day. D-Day, maybe you know, is D-R. That was an important fight in World War II when England and America wanted to go to France.
那我们现在当下录影的时间刚好是就是我们所谓的 D-Day。那 D-Day 老师有说它是在战争里面历史上一个很重要的
So England and America want to go into France, and Germany wants to stop them.
对，英国跟美国想要侵入这个 France 法国，然后呢，德国要来阻挡他们的一个日子，78周年。
That's right, and everybody wants to know, what does D-Day mean what does the D mean, right?
Yeah.
And the answer is, it means nothing. It's just called D-Day. There's no good name.
Is there any A-Day?
I don't know. They just they needed a cool name, and they're like, this is
We should make up something.
The day.
Oh, the day.
Today is
T-H-E. The day.
Oh, no, I just made that up.
Every day is a day.
Right. Let's get ready to hear our story. And when we come back, it's paragraph 1.
All the Light We Cannot See. All the Light We Cannot See is about a blind girl named Marie-Laure who lives in Paris, France in the 1930s. When the Nazis invade in 1940, she and her father are forced to leave the city. They escape to a countryside town to hide with Marie-Laure's great-uncle, Etienne. After several months, Marie-Laure's father gets arrested. She continues to live with Etienne, and they start passing on secret signals to aid the French resistance movement. Werner Fenig is a German orphan. His favorite hobby is listening to science and music programs on an old radio. He develops a talent for fixing radios. He is later hired by the Nazis to help them track enemy radio signals during the war. One day, he picks up a signal that is coming from Etienne's home in France. Werner doesn't report his findings, though, after he realizes it's the same location that broadcast the programs he loved as a boy. The building Werner is in collapses after an Allied bombing raid. While he's trapped under the ruins, Werner listens to a radio show that's broadcast by Marie-Laure. After he escapes, he heads to the location and meets Marie-Laure. They immediately develop a strong relationship and decide to run away together. Can these poor souls find a way to escape this horrible war together?
All right, friends, let's begin with paragraph 1. All the Light We Cannot See is about a blind girl named Marie-Laure who lives in Paris, France in the 1930s.
呼唤奇迹的光，我们可以看到 All the Light We Cannot See， 这边是斜体字，因为它是书的名称哦。那这一本书呢，讲述1930年代一位住在法国巴黎叫做玛丽罗尔的盲人女孩。
Now, we should highlight the word blind. Now, blind is a very useful word, but I'll be honest, if you go to America or maybe Canada, and you say she's blind, some people will feel they're going to feel very uncomfortable because it sounds like you didn't shout, Tommen, but the correct nice way of saying it is kind of hard. So I understand why our author says blind. If you want to be very polite, we can say visually impaired, and it's really long and it's kind of hard to say, but you could practice it. Blind or visually impaired.
Visually impaired 那个 visual 就是我们的视觉，那 impaired 就代表说有缺陷，所以视觉有缺陷 visually impaired 就可以说是盲人的意思。
Yeah, also to be clear, not everyone is like, I can't see anything. Some people, they can see a little, but they're not
弱视啊。
blind. Yeah. So it's, to be fair, it's more accurate. Our next sentence says, when the Nazis invade in 1940, she and her father are forced to leave the city.
那当 Nazi 就是纳粹哦，在1940年入侵的时候 ，she and her father are forced 被动语态，所以她跟她的父亲被强迫离开这个城市。
Yeah, so the Nazis we know are the Germans in World War II, and you probably saw them in a lot of movies. I don't know how a lot of Taiwanese think about Nazis, but I will tell you, when you see the Nazi flag or people do what's called the Nazi salute, it's really scary. There were seriously bad people.
Yeah， 老师刚刚讲那个 Nazi salute 就是那种纳粹敬礼的方式。
我不敢给你看. Like it's, you know what it is, but I will not do it because this is a video.
People might,
What's the YouTube thumbnail gonna be?
你想知道的自己 Google.
Yeah, you can Google the Nazi salute. Salute means something like this. The Nazi one is something different.
Yeah，
All
他的
right.
把手放到鞋上方。
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go like this. Let's continue. They escape to a countryside town to hide with Marie-Laur's great uncle Etienne.
ATM， 我一直觉得他的名字很像 ATM。
Give me some money.
Yeah， 好，他们呢就逃到了乡下的一个小镇，与玛丽罗尔的叔叔艾提安一同躲藏。
I just learned. I was checking the pronunciation for Etienne, and that's like French for Stephen.
Yeah.
So remember, Stephen's your friend, so you know. Etienne is his name in French. That's weird, isn't it? Like Etienne, Stephen. 完全不一样. But there you go.
Yeah, does
Now-
it make sense? It makes sense.
Stephen, I don't hear it. 都没有听到. Now, let's highlight the word countryside.
Countryside.
Countryside is an uncountable noun. It doesn't mean like the forest. It means outside of the city, outside of the suburbs. And we can often say country. 不是国家的 country, just a country town. And that means the same thing.
所以这边 countryside 要特别写下来，它是不可数名词。当然，有时候我们要讲乡下的时候，我们可以直接讲 town 或直接讲 country。但是有时候你直接讲 country， 别人可能会以为你在讲国家，所以 countryside 我们就会这样讲，更清楚。
So if you listen to like country music, we don't say countryside music, but that's what it means. It's like country music. Do Taiwanese listen to country music?
Country road.
Take me home. All right, everyone else sing along.
Place.
I belong. Ooh, sorry about
That's
that.
good.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, let's continue here. After several months, Marie-Laur's father gets arrested.
那数个月之后呢，玛丽罗尔的父亲就 get arrested。这边的 arrested 也是被动语态，我不会自己主动的去逮捕嘛，对不对？我是被逮捕，所以这个 Mary Roll 他的这个父亲就被逮捕了。
Now, in Nazi Germany or the places the Nazis went, if you can get arrested for a lot of things, but especially if you were Jewish,
Yes.
Jewish, and you had to wear a big star to show everyone you were Jewish. If you did even a little bit of a bad thing, the German Nazis would arrest you and very bad things could happen to you. A very likely thing would happen is you would die.
对，纳粹那个时期，他们就是对犹太人有特别的厌恶，所以你只要是犹太人，他们不需要任何理由，他就可以逮捕你。
All right, let's continue here. She continues to live with Etienne, and they start passing on secret signals to aid the French resistance movement.
所以这边的 she 呢，当然指的就是这个玛丽罗尔，她就继续跟这个艾提安住在一起。那他们开始为援助法国抵抗运动而传送一些秘密的讯息。
Now, we can say resistance or resistance. Both are fine. I think resistance is more common. 比较平常, because is a little bit of an emphasis. I think resistance is more common, but 要看看。
我自己好像比较常讲 resistance.
I like to say like the long E's a lot.
Yeah.
But I checked like a pronunciation book and that but it doesn't matter.
都可以。
Because where your husband's from too, I think that affects it.
Maybe.
Now, a movement has a few meanings in English. Now, move, 当然动来动去。
移动啊。
That's right. But this movement here means like a group, they work together, they have one goal, and it's usually something very serious.
所以通常前面我们如果加上 social movement, 就比较好理解，就是一种社会运动的感觉。
Now, this pass on secret signals, we can write a 括号, a pair of parentheses around on. We don't have to say that on. It's nice to use it. It makes it a little clearer for the reader, but we could say pass secret signals to aid the French resistance.
所以在这边 pass on secret signals 的这个 on 我们可以括起来，代表它可省略。你也可以说 pass secret signals 也是传递的意思，那 pass on 只是更加的清楚。
Okay, let's stop right here, and when we come back, we're going to start with paragraph 2. All right, friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're on day 1, and we're on pages 26 and 27 of our magazine, and we're talking about all the light we cannot see. Let's start this paragraph. Werner Fenig is a German orphan.
那我们第二段呢，开头又介绍一个新的人物，叫做维纳芬尼，他是一个德国的 orphan 孤儿。
Yeah, so an orphan in English, of course, means you don't have a mom or a dad. Let's continue. His favorite hobby is listening to science and music programs on an old radio.
那韦恩·芬尼这个人呢，他最大的爱好是透过老旧的收音机听科学知识和音乐节目。
Now, we can underline programs and we can write the word shows, S-H-O-W, but this is a little bit unusual because to show means to 给别人看, but this is the radio, so you won't show anybody anything, you just kind of talk.
所以这边的 program 比较像是一个频道因为你是没有视觉上面的刺激的，你只有听觉上。
And this is where the name of the book comes from. Remember, we have Marie-Laure. She's visually impaired. She's blind. She can't see. And the book is called All the Light We Cannot See. What is the light they're talking about? Well, they're talking about radio waves. This is a story about people and the radio.
所以这边呢，我们就点出了，因为我们这一本书叫做《呼唤奇迹的光》嘛，那它这边其实讲的是 we cannot see， 他们在讲的就是他们用听力，所以这个老师讲 radio wave 就是有点像是他们的音频、音波。
Yeah, and this sounds funny to maybe some people, but remember, this is a time where 事实上电视已经被发明了。But nobody could buy them. Nobody could buy them. And there's nothing to watch. There's no TV stations yet. You could go to a movie theater. There's no cell phone and there's really no computer. So at night, a lot of people would just sit next to the radio and they would just listen to stories on the radio.
所以我要记得我们的故事是在1930年嘛，对不对？
Yeah.
所以那个时候呢，当然没有手机啊，然后电视也是很少数有钱人家才可以买得起的，所以他们最大晚上能够听的娱乐其实就是所谓的 radio。
And let's continue. He develops a talent for fixing radios.
那他呢，发展出修理收音机的天赋 talent。
He is later hired by the Nazis to help them track enemy radio signals during the war.
所以呢，维纳很厉害，他后来还被纳粹征召。那征召去在战争的时候呢，协助他们追踪敌军的收音机讯号。
Now let's highlight during the war. After during, we don't want to use another pronoun. We can't say during he is in the war. That's wrong. We just say during some event, some 事件。
所以在这边 during 后面要注意，我们不可以再加任何的 pronoun， 就是代名词，我们要把那个事件完整讲出来。
We could change it, say while he was in the war, that's fine, but during the war is fine too. Let's continue. One day he picks up, he hears a signal that is coming from Etienne's home in France.
那有一天呢，他呢截获了一个来自于艾提安法国家中的讯号。
All right, and signal is just a sound, those radio waves, and he wants to kind of find those. Werner doesn't report his findings, though, after he realizes it's the same location that broadcast the programs he loved as a boy.
那然而呢，韦纳并没有报告此一发现，所以他没有把艾提安的这个事情告诉纳粹哦。那因为他发现这个是传送他孩童时期喜爱的广播节目的相同的地点。
So in the past, you could have something called a ham radio, and it's H-A-M, like 火腿. It doesn't mean 火腿, but it's a ham radio. And people would practice being on the radio just like people would act because they want to be in the movies or on TV. And they would just make little radio programs. And some people got really, really good at it. And then, you could also like use it to find a dog. I remember using a ham or a CB radio. And I heard these two guys, they were looking for their dog. And they're like talking to each other on the radio. And it was cool to listen to these two guys. They're just looking for a dog, but they seemed so excited. And I couldn't put it down. And it's one of those weird things that you can do today too. You can get a ham radio or a CB radio and just start talking. And you never know when someone will listen to your weird story.
那我相信老师在讲的这个 ham radio， 因为毕竟我们两个年代也不太一样，对。但是我想那个 ham radio 的中文应该是所谓的香肠族，就是两个人之间可以用一个讯号，然后互相讲话这样子。然后over 那个有没有
？over
电影里面可以看得到，对对对。所以他们有时候你也可以，如果知道怎么去截取讯号的人，他们也可以知道说这两个香肠族之间在做什么。老师说他听到的是有人在找狗。
They wanted to find a dog, and they really wanted to find this dog, but they did it like, oh, we miss our dog. They're like, let's get the dog, let's go. And they like almost
Roger
like
that, over.
Yeah, like soldiers, like they were really serious. I was like, oh. It was so exciting.
所以英文叫 ham radio,
Yeah.
中文叫做香肠族，是 like sausage.
Really? I didn't know that. Did you ever use two cans and use the string and like?
Not really.
I really tried that, and it didn't really. I mean, it sort of worked. But our teachers made us feel like when you take a can, like a guanto, and the string, it was like, wow, you can hear everything. It was like, I can kind of hear sound, which is a little cool, right?
Yeah, you have to act it anyway. 啊，真的听得到哎。
They yell into it, they can still hear. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we got paragraph 3. All right, friends, welcome back to Enjoy English School. And so, Minnie, the World War II ended in 1945 in August, and the war ended in Europe first, and then they kept fighting in Asia. They were going island to island.
Yes, 所以在二战在1945年的时候打完，然后但是他们就有点偏移他们的战争的地方，然后到 Asia 到亚洲，然后就岛啊，就不同的岛去
岛，他们越来越靠近日本。
对。
Now, every time they went to a new island, they needed boats, they needed guns,
船、枪、
tents,
然后帐篷，
they needed shovels to dig
然后
holes,
需要铲子
they
来挖
needed
洞，
cars,
还有车子，
they needed jeeps,
还有那个吉普车，
but they can't take it to every island. It's too slow.
没错。
So every island, they would just leave it on the island. And then the American government, 美国的政府说, hey, people on this island, do you want to buy our stuff? And sometimes the people would say, okay, we'll buy this stuff. It's good American stuff. But then some islands were like, no, we don't even have roads. Like, why do we want jeeps and tanks and trucks and all this stuff? So what did the American government do? They would just drive it in the ocean. They would load up everything you don't buy. We're just going to drive in the ocean right off your island.
所以海底的垃圾知道怎么来的啦。
Now, actually, that one, the niggas a whole, really, really terrible. But today, a lot of those jeeps and trucks and tanks, those are now coral reefs. Those all became coral reefs. Isn't that weird?
所以现在在他们开到水里面，然后报废的这些东西就变成是珊瑚礁。
Yeah. So then, like, a lot of little fish would live there. It became actually, I mean, 当然还是很恐怖，
小鱼的
but it
躲藏
became
地
like a
方。
good place for them to hide. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So thank you for your garbage. Let's continue to paragraph 3. The building Werner is in collapses, that means falls down, after an Allied bombing raid.
那韦纳身处的这个建筑遭到同盟国的空袭爆炸炸毁，然后呢就倒塌 collapse。
Okay, so we have Allied, and this is just one of the teams in World War II. They are the good guys, period. This is a very easy war to say who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. So in the Allied side, you have America, England, France. Those are the big three ones.
所以美国、英国、法国，他们算是同盟国，就是这个 allies， 然后他们算是 good guy，
Those are the good guys.
这场战争里面的好人。
This is a really clear war. Sometimes in war, you don't know who really is the good guy, bad guy. This is really clear who the good guy is. On the other side, you have Germany, Italy, and then like Japan also, but Japan was like doing their own thing. They're like, okay, we'll help you too.
德国、意大利跟日本就是属于 bad guy 那边的人。
Yeah, especially Germany. You
尤
don't
其
want
是德国。
Yeah. All right, let's continue here. While he's trapped under the ruins, Werner listens to a radio show that's broadcast by Marie Lore.
那当维纳被废墟困住的时候呢，他就开始收听这个玛丽罗尔播送的收音机节目。
Now, we can circle 这个 T-R-A-P,
Trapped.
P-E-D. We want to circle that double P. And the ruins, 要加 S, and that means the big, that's right, the big rocks after a building falls down. Let's continue. After he escapes, he heads to the location and meets Marie Lore.
那在他 escape 脱困之后呢，他就前往那个地方，然后跟玛丽罗尔相见。
You know, I saw a person reading and enjoying English magazine once, like in the MRT, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm in here. And they were like, oh.
好冷淡哦。
无所谓。
你有期待说哦，那帮我签名，这样吗？
No, I was just like, wow, that's cool. Like, hey, I know this magazine, and they were like, oh, okay. They didn't care, or they thought like crazy foreigner. I don't know. I thought that was funny. They didn't care. All right, let's continue. They immediately develop a strong relationship and decide to run away together.
那他们叙述的就产生了 strong relationship 强烈的情感啊，所以就决定要一起逃走。
Can these poor souls find a way to escape this horrible war together?
所以我们第一天的结尾来用一个问句来当结尾，你觉得究竟这对可怜的人物是否能够逃出这场可怕的战争呢？
All right, let's get ready for vocab review. All right, friends, it's time for vocab review. Number 1, to be forced to.
To be forced to 就是我们被强迫做什么事情。
To make somebody do something.
Yeah, 那个强迫也可以用 make 这个字。
Number 2, to arrest.
就代表说逮捕某人 arrest。
In our story, we used it as to get arrested.
被动语态被逮捕。
Number 3, a signal.
Signal 就是讯号。
Like Batman, the bat signal. Number 4, to hire.
Hire 就是雇用。
The adjective is hired. Next, we have to pick up. Now, this doesn't mean like garbage. It means like to hear, to pick up.
对，所以在这边我们这一课的 picked up 意思是说他听到、他得到的意思，我们用 picked up。
Number 6 is to broadcast.
那在这边我们 broadcast 要学的是它动词的意思，也就是播送。那当然 broadcast 也有名词的意思，就是我们现在像那个 podcast 一样那种播放的节目，也可以叫 broadcast。
Number 7, to trap.
Trap 就是困住。
And number 8, to head to.
Head to 就是前往。
To go to a place. Okay, that's it for today. When we come back, we got day 2 tomorrow.
Yep.
And we're also going to learn some fun facts about kind of the world around this time. So don't go anywhere. For Enjoy English School, I am Chris Gorski.
I am Minnie.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.